All right, so with the midterm elections right around the corner, let's talk a little politics. So I want to talk about Amendment 2, which puts limitations on the tax assessments on non-homestead properties. What the hell does that mean? Non-homestead properties are basically any property you might own that's not your primary residence, for lack of better terms. That could be obviously an investment property, a secondary home, a vacation home, anything that is basically a property that you own that you don't have a homestead tax exemption on, which you typically do with your primary residence. So what this amendment kind of alludes to the best of my knowledge, this puts a cap on how much the property taxes on a non-homestead property can increase a year. That cap would just be 10%. So right now, that cap is currently 10%, and it's been a temporary thing apparently, but this would then make it permanent. So this obviously has the benefit to people who own investment properties, because in a hot market, if the value of the home is reassessed by the county and state, then the taxes are going to then be adjusted accordingly. If your property is, let's just say, assessed at $100,000 valuation and the market's booming and it's now all of a sudden assessed and valued at $200,000, your property taxes are going to skyrocket. So what this amendment is going to do is actually put a cap on how much the property taxes can increase a year. This is good to investors because, let's say right now, if the property taxes on your rental property are $1,000 a year, all of a sudden next year they're not going to be $2,000 a year. It's going to cost you additional $180 or so a month in property taxes. This is also obviously good for senior citizens who are maybe living in a vacation home, or they are snowbirds and they're living on kind of a fixed income. And obviously if their property taxes are $2,000 a year, they know for a fact that at least in another 12 months or so, or next year, if the property taxes are reassessed, it's not going to go up to $4,000 a year, and it's only going to be at the very most $2,200 a year. So this amendment really kind of has a benefit for investors and people who own secondary homes by the security of knowing that your taxes are not going to skyrocket when the county or city decides to actually reassess the valuation of your home and change your taxes. So this really kind of benefits if you already own a house, but if you're looking to buy a house in the future, you will be subject to the property taxes changing, to my understanding, but I don't know. This amendment seems to be really good for investors and people who own secondary homes. It's really going to kind of give you the peace of mind of knowing that your property taxes are not going to skyrocket if your home value increases, which obviously a home value increase is great, but you know, when it costs you more a year and you're not planning on selling anytime soon, it doesn't really make much sense to pay more in taxes.